Today, I want to talk about the importance of building background knowledge and this crucial step for your students. We're going to start with an image from empoweringells.com. In this image, you're going to see 3 ideas on how you can build background knowledge for your students: linking to EL's experiences, linking old and new topics, and emphasizing vocabulary. I'm going to start with a unit on Romeo and Juliet. This is a 9th grade unit where students will read the play and also look at a graphic novel. Now, Romeo and Juliet is a classic told around the world, but as the teacher, I don't want to assume that my students have this information. So prior to beginning the text, I'm going to create a lesson where I can help build that background knowledge and help them connect to the text before we even begin. I'm going to take you into the lesson. So we're going to go to the first slide here. And you can see in the slide that there's some basic introduction information, the date, the author. I really want my students to have this information. I'm going to do a few things to this slide. I'm going to go to Insert Shape, and I'm going to insert a circle. I'm going to put the circle over the date, and you're going to see that it's going to turn white. So I have to go to this little paint can here and change it to transparent. And then I really want it to stick out. So I'm going to change the border color to red, and I'm going to make it even a little bit thicker of a line so it sticks out. I'm also going to highlight the name of the author. So I'm going to do a line here. And same thing, I'm going to color the line yellow, make it stick out a little bit more so that those 2 pieces of information really stick out for my students. The other thing that I want to point out on this page is the word play. Now, English is a tricky language. The word play, in this case, is talking about a theater, right? But I know my students might think of it as the verb, right? To play soccer, to play football. So I want to make sure to clarify that. So I'm going to do insert image, search the web, and I'm going to search for a theater picture. I'm going to insert that onto my slide so that I can help clarify that word. And as English speakers, we really have to look for those tricky double meaning words because they can really confuse our students. I'm going to take the same steps of insert image, and I am going to insert a picture of William Shakespeare as well to give the context. I also, I want them to understand that this was written a long time ago. And I think that picture of William Shakespeare shows that it's not a recent picture. So I think that helps them build connections to the information. We're going to go to this second picture here that's talking about the setting. So the setting is Italy. I don't know if my students know this. And actually, I don't know if they know where Italy is. I think when we teach, we always need to look for those golden opportunities of when we can add some additional information. So this is a great time to teach about geography as well. So I'm going to add a map of Italy. I'm going to also show where Italy is on the world's map so that we can have that conversation as far as where it's located, how far away it is from Florida maybe, and have those conversations. So not only am I teaching them the setting, but I'm also giving them some useful information about where Italy is in the world. I'm going to show you a few pre-created slides. So this slide, we're talking about theme. And I want to point out that you can see all 4 themes have an image next to them. And then all 4 themes have Spanish, Portuguese, and Creole underneath them to help them make connections to those themes. I also want to point out that we chose these themes very intentionally. As we started to break down the themes of the novel, we noticed that we could find cognates within those themes. You'll see destiny, conflict, and family honor are all cognates, so that vocabulary is going to stick right out to our students. We could have used fate, for example, but using the word destiny, which essentially is the same thing, gives me a cognate. So it's important that we pay attention to our vocabulary and really focus on trying to find vocabulary that our students will connect to. I want to show you some character pages. We thought it was important to introduce the characters ahead of time. Again, Romeo and Juliet's a classic, but my students might not know that he's a member of the Montague family. So I want to give them that information ahead of time before we even begin. I also pointed out that he's the only son, pointed out that his father was a lord, his mother was a lady. And then I did the same for Juliet. you're going to notice that this language mirrors each other. That was done intentionally so that the students would find patterns within the language. So one of the main characters is Romeo. He's a member of the Montague family. He's the only son. Only son is bolded. You're going to see that exact same language mirrored here. Again, another way to help students connect to the language. And finally, I want to show you the last page where we talk about how the Montague and Capulet families are enemies. Now, this is a crucial part of the story that's really necessary for my students to have before they begin so they can understand the dynamics of the characters within the text. I chose a picture of the family crest here, and I think that using a crest or a coat of arms is a great way to show family honor. I could take this opportunity to build on background knowledge and allow for the students to connect to this picture. If your family had a coat of arms, what would it look like? And really help them understand that idea of family honor and respect, because that's going to be an overarching theme throughout the text as we move forward. So going through and adding these pieces of information and taking a class period to talk about this before we begin, I have no doubt is going to help my students have greater success within the text.